이재명 대한민국 대통령님의 모두 말씀을
President
듣도록
of the
하겠습니다.
Republic of Korea, Lee Jae-myung, will deliver his opening remarks. The media around APEC area, thank you for your hard work.
여러분들의 관심과
Your interest
홍보 활동에
and
저희가 큰
your
도움을 받고 있는데
promotion is very useful,
깊이
and
감사를
it is helping us very much, and I'd like to thank you for that. With today's conference, this year's APEC has wrapped up. And for the last 1 year, we had gone through vigorous discussions and the discussions amongst the leaders. This is our joint achievement. On the first day, the APEC leaders, the UAE Crown Prince, together with him, we had talked about the promotion of the trade in the region. Due to structural reasons, the Asia-Pacific region is facing a lot of different problems, and for the continuous prosperity, we need to expand trade, and we had agreed on this. On the second day, which was today, the AI technology and its rapid development, and also to demographic changes, we had discussed about how we can address these issues. And our leaders had recognized that these two problems are the issues that we all face together. Since we have to have and muster our strengths in order to address these and share best practices, and we have agreed that we have to cooperate and confer with each other. And based on such agreements, we had adopted 3 documents. First is Gyeongju Declaration, the open and dynamic and as well as peaceful APEC Asia-Pacific region. This is the mid to long-term blueprint, and also to materialize the Putrajaya announcement. And the recovery and the growth of Asia-Pacific region, the willingness of all the member countries in this regard is embodied in the declaration. Especially the inclusive growth with new growth engines was something that we had agreed on. Second of all, the APEC AI initiative had been adopted. The members around the region, we are going to take part in this AI conversion, and this is containing a lot of policies that we can do this, especially the private and public as well as academia, stakeholders, cooperation and expansion of investment is contained in this document. And also, this is the first of its kind of the humankind in terms of AI. And the Republic of Korea, we shared our core initiative, and we are going to contribute to this AI initiative. Third, APEC demographic change response co-framework with low birth rate and the elderly population being expanded. This is providing the way forward, and this is going to be building a economic structure around it, and also the co-prosperity, also developing human resources, and all these would be like government cross initiatives and plans, and that was adopted. And it was the first in kind that the demographic change had been recognized officially, and I believe that is very much meaningful that this is the first in its kind to this regard. Honorable press, members of the press, the Republic of Korea has always been at the side of the development of mankind, and we have adopted the Busan framework, and this year we had recovered the connections around the member countries, and also through this joint framework, we are the agents. We are the agents, and we have expanded the APEC landscape, and we have participated. And this is the APEC economic leaders' very firm will and their willingness to have this APEC's vision to expand and for the joint prosperity. And the Republic of Korea will in the future continue to be and continue to participate in this APEC's endeavors, including China, which will be the next APEC chair nation. I wish that all nations and the member countries come together and to push forward with what we had agreed. Last but not least, for the last 1 year, for the successful hosting of APEC 2025 Korea, I would like to thank all the Korean people and also the citizens of Gyeongju for your cooperation and for your endeavors. Thank you very much.
네, 지금부터 질의응답
We
시간을
would
갖도록
now
하겠습니다.
go on to a Q&A session.
지역이나 언어들을 고려를 해서 최대한
So,
많은 분들께
considering
기회를 드릴
the
수 있도록
region
하겠습니다.
and languages, we would like to
많은
give
기회가 돌아가기
as
위해서는
much opportunity as
언론 매체당
possible. So,
질문을 하나씩만
therefore,
해주시기를
I would like to allocate one
먼저
question per
가운데
media
줄에서
outlet.
제일 앞줄에
The first question
계신
would
언론사
go
중에서 통신사 혹시
to
계시면
the,
통신사부터
are
먼저
there any
좀
news
기회를 드리겠습니다.
agencies we would
마이크를
like to
앞쪽으로
give
전달해 주시겠어요?
the opportunity to news agencies first?
예, 대통령님, 뉴스원의
Mr. President, I
한재준
am Han Jae-jun from News One. First of all, I'd like to congratulate on the successful hosting of APEC 2025 Korea. I have one question. With this APEC, Korea's peaceful Korean peninsula, and you have also asked for the cooperation. However, North Korea is still not opening its doors to dialogue. And what would you do to support any North Korea-U.S. dialogue or any cooperation in that regard? Well, thank you first of all for your assessment that it was a successful conference. First of all, the Korean Peninsula issue is always a complex and difficult issue, but what is for sure is that the peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula is very important for this region. And prosperity, for peace and stability, it is always important, and it's always negotiation, coexistence, co-prosperity, and cooperation. This has to be a prerequisite. Our former President Kim Dae-jung had said under the name of Sunshine Policy that if you want to take off a coat on a person, it's not only the wind that is necessary, but that would only make it colder. So you have to make it a warmer climate for that person to take off that coat. So as such, the coexistence, prosperity, all these should be a prerequisite for peace. And peace is not something that could be achieved through suppression or oppression or forceful war that we can win over. After mass destruction, what is the point of winning? So winning by fighting is a low level of resolution, and what is the most prominent and the best level of peace is winning without fighting. And we are in real trying to realize this. Although North Korea is not is skeptical about the South Korean government, and they're not satisfied and they're hostile towards us, but this skepticism and this recognition of hostility or this confrontation we would have to change this
북측이 안심하고
stance,
남측을 조금이라도
and for that
믿을
to
수
be
있게 만들기 위해
realized,
선제적인
we have
조치들을
to
이것저것
take
할 수 있는 범위 내에서 하고
many
있습니다.
different preemptive
앞으로
measures in the range
그러한
that
노력은
we are
계속될
allowed to,
것입니다.
and this will continue in the
그리고
future.
북측이
And the
여러
North,
계기에 적대적 표현을 사용하는
on
것도
many occasions,
이건
using
끝이다, 안
confrontational
된다라고
language,
생각하지 않고
we
이
don't
변화의
take this
과정에서
as it is being
나올 수밖에
impossible or
하나의
nothing could be
표현이다
done,
이렇게
but
생각합니다.
we believe that it is
저는 그렇게 생각합니다.
one type of an
과거보다는
expression
표현의
that
강도가
they are
매우 많이
adopting. But
완화된 것
I
같습니다.
personally think that it has kind of alleviated in terms of the level of
네,
confrontation or
만들고
hostility that they're expressing.
대화를
So what I'm saying is that
소통하고
making
협력할
this
수 있는 분위기를 만들어가야
situation
하는데
so that we
그게
can
대한민국
move
정부
forward to a
혼자서만으로는
cooperation and
어렵습니다.
more of a
외신 기자분들이 많이
better
계셔서
environment. But this
모르실 수
cannot
있기
be
때문에
done
말씀드리면
by the Republic of Korea ourselves.
한반도는 여전히
So I'd like to
중입니다.
make a point that Korea, the
멈추고
Korean
있는 거죠,
Peninsula
법적으로.
is in
그리고 이 휴전
an
협정의
armistice.
당사자는
So
대한민국이 아니라
this means that the war has not been over, and
그래서 북한은 대한민국이
the
아니라
it was
미국과
signed by
협의해야
the
된다.
United States, the
미국으로부터
armistice
체제
agreement.
안전을
That is
보장받아야
why
된다고
North
생각하고
Korea
실제 그렇게
is
행동합니다.
thinking and
그래서
actually
우리가 남북 간의
taking its
대화만으로
actions
한반도 문제를
that
해결하려고 해도
it should be
그런 뚜렷한
with
한계가
the
있기
United
때문에
States that they should
미국의
talk
역할이
with in
중요합니다.
terms
물론
of
그 외에
resolving this
중국과
issue, and
러시아의
that is
역할도
why
중요하겠죠.
we
그러나 가장
are
중요한 것은
trying to facilitate that, and we
미국의
are
역할입니다.
also
그래서 미국의
helping in this regard.
역할을
But what is most
인정하고
important is the role of the
미국과
United States
북한이
in this
대화해서
situation,
관계를
and
개선하면
if
남북 간의 관계도
North
개선할
and
길이 열리기
the
때문에
United States
남북
will
간의 직접 대화를 위한
will
노력도
have
하겠지만
improvements in their ties,
트럼프 대통령이
that would result
스스로
in a better relations with
하고자 하는
ourselves
바대로
as well. But
이 한반도에서 평화를 만드는
the
피스메이커로서의
making
역할을
peace on this
잘 하도록 하는
Korean
게
peninsula
대한민국의
by President
안보를,
Trump
평화를
would
확보하는
be,
길이기도
and
합니다.
making that
그래서
happen would
이번에도
be the
제가
way for
정상회담에서
Republic of
말씀드린
Korea
것처럼
to bring
피스메이커
peace on
역할을
the Korean peninsula. And that is
하시도록
why I
피스메이커
reiterated
역할은
that
계속
point
열심히 하겠다,
this
이렇게
time
말씀드렸습니다.
around when he
그렇게
was
될 거라고
here,
믿습니다.
that he's going to be the
질문을 더
peacemaker and
받도록
I will be
하겠습니다.
the
손을 들어주시면
pacemaker.
지목을
Okay,
하도록
next question.
하겠습니다. 이번에는 기자
And this
여러분들 앉아
time,
계신 방향에서 왼쪽으로
the left-hand side,
지금 손을 높이 들고 계신 제일 앞줄에
the person
남성
in the front
기자분이 계신데요.
row.
마이크 전달해 주십시오.
안녕하세요.
Hello.
저는 중국 CMG 기자 동해덕입니다.
I am
앞으로
a
정한
reporter
관계
from
발전
a
전망을
Chinese
보시나요?
press.
그리고
So what is your
정한
prospect
양국은
on
어떠한
Korea and
어떠한
China
분야에서
relations,
협력을
and what
강화해
would
나갈 수
be
있을까요?
the areas that you are going to strengthen the cooperation with?
네, 매우 중요한
Well, that is
질문을
a very
해주셨습니다.
important
감사합니다.
question. Thank you. A good question.
한중 관계는
Korea-China
외형적으로는
relations, from its exterior, it doesn't look like it has much problems, but in real, the relations is not on its full level of normalization. And going beyond recovery, but to forge a path for a real cooperation. So that is why the substantial and
협력 강화가 꼭 필요하겠다.
recovery of relations and recovery of cooperation would be the point that I would like to focus. And the most important
한국과 중국은
area would be
여러
the
부분에서
economy.
경쟁하는 관계이기도
Korea
하지만
and China,
다른
in
여러
many ways,
측면에서는
we are
협력하는
competitors,
관계이기도
but
합니다.
in other many ways, we are
국가 간 관계라고 하는
on
것은 매우
in
복합적이어서
a cooperative relations.
것과 안
So
보이는 것들이 공존하고
relations between two
협력과
countries is a
경쟁
very
대결이 공존합니다.
complex issue. So
미국도 중국과
cooperation and
경쟁하고
also
적대적으로 보이지만 잘 보이지 않는 이면에서는
competing
협력하고
coexist.
거래하고
So we might be
지원하고
competing, but
도움을
also on the other side, we cooperate
대한민국과
and we
중국의 관계도
support each other.
마찬가지입니다.
That is
지리적으로
for
아주 가깝고
Korea and the United
경제적으로
States,
서로
and this goes
깊이
same for
의지하고
Korea
협력하는
and
관계입니다.
China. We may seem
그래서 앞으로는
competing, but
외부의
we're
작은
also
장애들이
deeply
있더라도
trusting each other,
장애들을
and we're
넘어서서
cooperating. Therefore,
더 큰
although you
이익과
might
더
see any hindrance or like barriers, we are going to go forward together with China, cooperating for a better future. And like Korea, China, all of our target or objectives is a better lives of our people, so economic exchanges and going forward, how we are going to play our roles in making peace in this region, and we would like to make more chances of cooperation. And also to stabilize the peace on Korean Peninsula, I believe China plays a pivotal role. So it is that the Korean Peninsula should be peaceful, so that the Northeast Asia could be peaceful, and I look forward to China's role.
그러니까 인접 국가였기 때문에
So
혹시
since
일본
we are in this neighborhood of Northeast Asia, let us go to a media outlet from Japan. So why don't we look for a female journalist, since we are catering to male journalists?
Also journalists from China, is that okay?
그러면 다음번에 질문 기회를 드리겠습니다. 일본 매체부터 먼저 하겠습니다.
So we would like to first cater our question to Japanese media. So the lady, she's not from a Japan media, okay? Well, then let's move over to non-Asia media. I am Nakagawa from Yomiuri News Daily. I have one question. On the 30th, the Prime Minister Takaichi and yourself had summit talks, and in Korea, there were expressions that far right or rightist. What is your take on her as a leader? Do you think she will do a good job? Korea and Japan, the two countries, the cooperation of the two countries is not an option, but it is a must. But on the other hand, there are difficult bilateral issues, some point out. So I'd like to have your candid take, a candid opinion on what you thought about and what's your take on our new Prime Minister and how the bilateral relations you think would go forward? A very candid opinion of yours, I would like to ask. Well, politicians, when they say they're candid, many times it's not candid.
일본 언론에서 아마 한일 관계가
Well, in the Japanese media, the Korea and Japan relations, they might think they're worried. It seems like they are concerned that it would take a different turn. But when in Japan, when I was elected, I believe that you would have been somewhat worried that that person is a far leftist. So Prime Minister Takaichi, when she was an individual politician, against when she is in charge of the whole Japan, I believe her opinions would have changed, and it should be changing. That goes the same for me, because when I was a leader of the opposition party and I become a president of the Republic of Korea, we have to change our opinions, and we have to have differing opinions, because you are because you are representing the whole country. So isn't she less worried about myself as well? Well, I did have those concerns, as you mentioned, but when I actually met her in person and had conversed with her, she is a great politician that we have many things that we share in common. And the Korea-Japan relations is
또 협력해야 될 부분이
significantly important, and we have
저도
many
그렇게
areas that we
전적으로
have
공감합니다.
to have
그래서
a
이런
cooperation
말씀을
on, and I fully agree with this.
문제가 있으면
And
해결하고
whenever there is a
과제가
problem,
있으면
we should resolve
협력해서
it. Whenever
풀어가자.
there is a issue, we
일본도
are going to
한국도
cooperate
해야 될
to
일이죠.
resolve this, and this is
그리고
what
정치는
we both
기본적으로
have to do. And
개인의
politics,
생각을 관철하는 측면도 있지만 더
of
중요한
course, it
것은
is
더 나은
somewhat
국민들의
about
삶,
making your points
국가의 더 나은 미래 아니겠습니까?
go through,
그런
but
뜻은 마찬가지죠.
the most important part is that it
솔직하게
is
느낌을
for the
말씀드리면
better lives of our
아주 좋은
people, right?
느낌을 받았습니다.
So to be very honest, I
걱정이 다
really
사라졌습니다.
have a good
앞으로 한일
take on her,
관계는
and I really
잘 협력해서
think
지금보다
that I
훨씬
have a
나은
very
단계로 나아갈 수 있겠다.
good
있는 문제는
feeling that
직시하고
this will be a good
미래를 향해
relations,
함께 손을
whatever
잡고
issues
나가서
that we look very
한국과
squarely
일본이
at it, but
서로에게
in
도움되는
the areas that we
관계로
can
충분히
cooperate, we
발전할
are
수
going
있겠다.
to be
자주
a
만나야 되겠다라는 생각이 들었습니다.
a partner that we
제가
can cooperate and be
가급적
helpful to each other,
셔틀 외교의
and we
정신상
believe that we
제가
should
일본을 방문해야
meet
되는데
more frequently.
가능하면
So with this
나라
shuttle
행으로
diplomacy,
가자라고
the
말씀드렸습니다.
next
저는 아주
visit should be
흔쾌하게
myself
좋아하셨습니다.
visiting Japan, and I
저는
told her
한일
that the next visit will be
기대가
to
됩니다.
Nara. So I really look forward to
네,
our
그
cooperation in the
사회자의,
future.
협조를 해주셔야 더 많은
So
기자분들께 질문
I
기회가 돌아갈 것
really
같습니다. 균형
wish
차원에서
you
비아시아권 그리고
could
가급적이면
cooperate
성별
with
균형도
my
맞춰야 해서
calling. So
지금
this has to
질문하지
be a
않으신 성별
balanced
가운데서 질문해 주시면 더
opportunity
감사하겠습니다.
to all the
비아시아권
regions,
중에서
to all the countries, and to
질문
all different
드리겠습니다.
kinds of
사회가 잘
press.
안 보이는 분이 계시거든요.
So
여기
is there
앞쪽에
anyone?
헤드폰 착용하고 계신 네.
Hello, thank you so much, Mr. President. My name is Ilyana. I'm from the RIA News Agency. First of all, congratulations on adopting the Gyeongju Declaration. And my question to you is, were there any challenges along the way of adopting the declaration? Maybe did any countries try to bring geopolitical issues into the final draft? Thank you.
안녕하십니까. 리얼뉴스의 오야 기자입니다. 먼저 경주 선언을 성공적으로 채택한 데 대해서 축하를 드립니다. 그러나 이 경주 선언을 채택하는 과정에서 혹시 문제가 있으셨는지 여쭙고 싶습니다. 좀 더 구체적으로 특정 국가가 지정학적인 이유를 들어서 이 과정이 좀 어려웠던 그런 사례가 있는지 여쭙습니다.
우리 어느 지역, 어느 나라세요 혹시?
What country is she from? Sorry.
러시아 매체로 알고 있습니다.
러시아
Russia.
매체요? 네, 감사합니다.
Thank you.
경주 선언은 아시는 것처럼
The Gyeongju
오늘 아침에
Declaration,
최종
as you
문안이
know,
완성됐죠.
it was finalized this morning, right?
7시
Yes. 7 o'clock.
30분까지
7:30 it was
진행됐다고 합니다.
finalized. So that
문안
finalization
정리에
had
이견들이
been
있었고,
going on, and we
그
had
점에
some
대해서
differing opinions,
조정을 하는 중이었습니다.
and it was
아마
an effort
큰
of coordinating
쟁점은
that.
무역과
The
투자에
biggest
관한
point was
챕터를
about
둘 거냐
trade
였다고 합니다.
and investment. Are we going to have a chapter on
여러분들 다
that?
배포된 자료를 보셨을
And
텐데
as you might have
무역과 투자에
seen,
대해서도
the
원만하게
trade and
합의가 돼서
investment, we had come
의견들을 다
to an
모았습니다.
agreement, and we had
아주
collected our
사소한 것이긴
opinions.
한데,
Although trivial,
문화
culture
창조 분야에
and
대한 약간의
creation,
논란이 있었지만 그건 쉽게
creativity
합의가 됐다고 합니다.
sector, we had
그래서
some differing
전체적으로는
opinions, but it was
모든
very easy to come to
회원국들이
a
뜻을
consensus.
모아서
So,
아시아 태평양이
all in all,
그리고 전
we
세계가
had
나아갈 길에 대해서
collected all the
충분히 의미
opinions,
있는
and we had come to
결론을
an
만들어냈다고
agreement, a very
생각됩니다.
meaningful agreement.
네, 비아시아권 국가들
Any
가운데서 질문을 추가로 더
non-Asian
받아보도록
countries,
하겠습니다. 비아시아권 국가 중에서
media,
질문해 주실 수 있는 분.
Any
아까
questions
이쪽에서도
from
손을 들으셨는데 이쪽
non-Asian
지금 안
countries?
했었죠? 예, 마이크 전달해 주시죠.
Hi, this is Jorge Dastis with the Spanish news agency, EFE. Thank you very much for doing this. I have a question about Mexico. Do you believe that Mexico's plans to significantly raise tariffs against countries with which it does not have a free trade agreement, like South Korea or China, are in line with APEC's objectives? And did you get a chance to discuss this with the head of the Mexican delegation? Thank you very much.
안녕하십니까. 스페인의 EFP 통신입니다. 멕시코와 관련해서 질문 드리도록 하겠습니다. 멕시코가 FTA가 없는 나라에 대한 관세를 대폭 증가시킬 계획을 갖고 있습니다. 한국과 중국이 여기에 해당되는데요. 이러한 멕시코의 정책이 APEC의 목표와 맞다고 생각하시는지, 그리고 멕시코 측하고 이와 관련해서 협의하실 기회가 있으셨는지 궁금합니다.
APEC은
APEC,
많은 나라들이 참여하고 있는데
we have many countries as
대전제는
members,
그
and
각
what
국가들이 다
the
독립성을 가지고 있고 추구하는
overall
가치와
theme is
지향하는
that all
목표가
these
다르다는
countries
것입니다.
have their own independence,
그
and
대전제
their
하에서 우리가 함께 논의할 수 있는 공통의
objectives are
과제를
different.
찾아내고 협력할
But
수 있는
based on
부분에서
that,
최대한
we
협력할
try to
방안을
find
강구하는 것이
the initiatives that we can
목표입니다.
cooperate in that sense.
멕시코가
That
어떤
is
관세
the
정책을
objective.
취하고 있는지 저는 물론
About
스치듯이
Mexico's
본
tariffs,
적은
I
있습니다만 아주
believe
세부적인
that I
내용은
have
지금
read it in
파악하지 못하고
the
있습니다.
news, but I do not have a
멕시코의
full
국가적 필요에
understanding
따라서
of that
필요한
in
정책을
detail.
추진하는
So
것일 텐데
it would be
역시
in the
이것도
needs of
멕시코
Mexico
일방적으로
that
혼자
they
되는
are
일은
having,
아니고
they are
결국
pursuing in
타국과
their
여러 나라들과의
interests, but this
협의
cannot be done
조정을
by
통할 수밖에 없을
themselves,
것입니다.
but they would have to go
그리고 그
through a
사이에
coordinating
충분한 이해관계
process
조정이
with other
이루어지겠죠.
countries. And in this
국제관계라고 하는 게 일국이 지배하는 것이
regard,
아니기
they
때문에
will
모두가
be
자기 국가에만
adjusting and coordinating.
유익한
So it's
결과를 만들어낼
not
수는
it's not
없습니다.
like one country
전쟁에서
could
이기지
exist
않는 그런 방법은 없는
in
거죠.
this world alone. So it has
멕시코의
to go
이 관세
through
문제도
a coordination and cooperation
사실 이제
process.
미국과의
So
관세 문제에서 파생된 측면이
Mexico's
없지 않을 텐데
tariff, I
이
believe this
모든
is
문제들이 다
a
복잡하게
deriving
얽혀 있는 것이어서
issue from
단순한
the
얘기를
United States
판단하는 것이
tariff
아니라 많은
problem. So
시간과
this is a
많은
very
노력들,
convoluted
많은
problem.
소통들이 필요할
Therefore, I
것입니다.
believe that it requires a
지켜봐
lot of
주시면
communications and a lot of conferring
네,
with
저희가
one
사전에
another.
공지해드린 대로 이 기자회견은
So
1시
as
반까지
mentioned earlier, this press conference is scheduled until 1:30, and now it is 1:29. Therefore, I would like to have one more question. So I would like to give the president an opportunity to pick out one
국내
person.
기자분들하고 한 분밖에
So
안
한 번밖에 못했습니다.
we had only one question from
네.
the domestic media,
아주
right?
애절하게
Well, so
보고
the
계신
person who's so desperately looking at
장
me,
기자입니다.
Mr. Zhang,
뒤편으로 마이크를 전달해 주시겠습니까? 장윤선 기자님.
네, 여성이기도 해서
and she's also a female.
성별
So,
안배를 했다는 점 말씀드립니다.
so this is a balancing out of gender.
시작하는 점 장윤선
Thank
기자입니다.
you. This is
대통령님
장윤선. Thank you
질문할 수
very
있는 기회
much for
주셔서
your
너무
opportunity.
감사드립니다.
사심이 약간 있었습니다.
So I really I had some
너무
my
감사합니다.
personal preferences too, right?
사실 우리
Well, thank
국민들
you.
입장에서
So from
보면
Korean
12.3
people's
비상계엄과
point of view, the martial law decree and insurrection, we had overcome, and this people's sovereign
매우 감회가 깊다. 그리고 굉장히
government,
정성을 많이
just in 4
들였다라는
months,
것을 곳곳에서
we were
느끼게
able
됩니다.
to host this APEC 2025 so successfully. It's very overwhelming to think about it, and we had abundant amount of snacks of Gyeongju, the delicacies. So it went very well. So I'd like to ask for what your like the most impressive point that you had in the preparation for APEC 25, and what was the experience that you found very flustering.
공부할 기회를 주신
Well,
것
thank
같네요.
you. It seems like you gave me an opportunity to promote.
사실은 대규모
Well, this
국제대회는
such big
대체적으로
international
끝나고 나면 이런저런
conference,
불편함이나 또
after
부족함
it's
때문에
wrapped up,
말이
many
많이
inconveniences would
지금까지
arise,
파악한 바로는
and many
정말 큰 문제, 특별한 문제 없이
complaints
넘어가고
would
있는데
arise,
마지막
but
순간까지
until now,
잘
I don't
관리하도록
see that many of that.
국제 행사이긴
So,
하지만
we will
국무총리께서 여길 10번
really
오셨다고 합니다.
work towards the end. And
과거와
I
같은
understand our
호기라도
Prime
있을 수
Minister had
여러 가지
traveled
경호,
here to Gyeongju more than
안전,
10
통신,
times,
편의시설 문제,
trying to
이런
check
문제들에 대해서
upon any issues that could
꼼꼼하게 잘
arise
챙기신
from
결과로
transportation to communication to accommodation and
인상적인
everything. So he
장면이라고 할
really
건
made
특별히
a
없는 것
very
같고,
detailed check
저희가
on everything. Nothing that really
안전
stood
경호
out,
문제에 많이
but
신경을 썼는데
what I would like to
그게
mention is that we really
다행히
put a
잘
lot of
정리됐다는
emphasis
생각이 듭니다.
on security
그 미리
and
격정됐던 것은
of
시설물도
the
시설물이었지만
leaders, and
교통 문제가
what
매우
was
걱정이 됐는데
a sticking
의외로 교통 문제도 큰
issue was
문제
transportation.
없이 잘
So we were
처리됐다는
concerned
생각이
about
듭니다.
that, but we didn't see a major problem.
시간
So I
여러분의
believe that it went
질문에
on
답했으면 좋겠는데
quite
우리 또
well.
준비하고
So I really wish that we had more time
그 시진핑
to
주석과의
have
또,
more questions from
면담
you,
준비도 해야 되기
but
때문에
we also need some time
번만 더
to
하고
prepare
만들어가겠습니다. 제가 좀
for
말 많이 하는
our
바람에 지금
next
못하십니다.
agenda of today,
네,
and we
마지막으로
also
한
have an
번만
upcoming
더 받도록 하겠습니다.
meeting with President Xi. So I'll take one last question.
앞에 가운데 줄 하얀색 옷 입고 계신 기자분.
Thank you so much. Question from Shenzhen TV. And the APEC meeting will be held in Shenzhen next year. So, President, what's your expectations for next year's APEC meeting? And how will South Korea share its experiencing in hosting the meeting with China to help China hold a successful meeting next year? Thank you so much.
안녕하십니까. 중국의 신진 TV입니다. 내년에 아시다시피 중국 신진에서 APEC을 개최하게 됩니다. 대통령님께서 내년 중국이 주최하는 APEC에 대해서 어떠한 기대를 가지고 계신지요? 그리고 내년 APEC의 성공적인 개최를 위해서 대통령님께서 중국 측에 어떻게 경험을 공유하실 예정이신가요?
제가 시주석님과 어젯밤에 공연을 관람하다가
I watched the performance with President Xi, and this butterfly was flying around to the audience. It was hovering over the audience, and it was quite noisy actually. Because butterflies are quite silent when they fly, right? So I turned to President Xi and told him that this butterfly is quite noisy. It should be the motor sound, right? So I told him that next year butterfly should be like in a stealth mode. That I hope that you have a real butterfly that is quiet. And in return, he said, "Well, isn't it a good idea that we have a singing butterfly?" So why I'm saying this is that connectivity is important. APEC is, well, based on our achievements so far, we are going to unwaveringly go forward to our future. The Shenzhen APEC that will happen next year, it will be a more successful one than this one in Gyeongju. We should see more advancement in the next 1 year, and there should be more development and advancement of APEC region. And then it will go on to a very bright future of APEC from the 2026 APEC. And I expect that President Xi and the people of China will do its best in preparing. So I look forward to meeting you in China next year. So we would like to close our press conference of today. The APEC 2025 press conference closes here. Thank you.